Who are you?
All right. Well, what's good? I'm Travis.
I'm Alan.
Alan is here with me today. We're going to do a deck tech video. And if I know anything about Alan, Alan loves to think about why certain cards are in a deck.
Yep.
So we're gonna work through some deck tech today on the Virtue and Valor Commander deck from the Wilds of Eldraine. I'll be honest, this deck really speaks to me. I love enchantments. I love green and white. It was just everything that I wanted to have in a deck. And so, we're going to do that. We're going to talk about the 200 subs giveaway, because we just went over 200 subs. Yeah, let's go! And, to end it, we're going to open this. That's right. It's the often sought after Collector Booster Sample Pack. All that and more. Let's get into it.
Let's roll with it.
Now, which button was it? Just kidding. All right. Well, we have already opened the Commander deck. Already gone through the rigorous process, and I will explain the process briefly. So if you have never taken a stock pre-con Commander deck and made it your own, I'll just go briefly through the process that I went through. We do want to make sure that you realize that we are going to do the announcement now about the giveaway, and then we're going to do it at the end about the giveaway. That way, if you hang out, you're going to get the same amount of information. But I don't want everybody to have to wait through the entire video. If you're not into deck tech, that's fine. I want to make sure that you know that we're doing a 200 sub giveaway, and the giveaway is for...
What is it?
Not the small archive. When I say small, this is the 400 plus Xenoskin. Not this one. Look how nice it is, though. See, look how nice. Not that one. Not the next size up, which is the 800 plus. Look at this bad boy. Look how many decks it can hold.
Look at all those colors.
Look at that. Not that one. But that's right. It is the 1,000 plus Xenoskin Omnihive. Holds all of your decks and then some. You're going to have to make new decks just to fill this.
Maybe some pre-cons that have been upgraded, perhaps?
Ooh, maybe. Like what you think. Anyway, this and 2 fun sets of Comix Cafe branded dice. That's right. You will have Comix Cafe dice in your 1,000 plus Xenoskin Omnihive deck box. Only if... Here's what you got to do. You ready?
I want to know.
All right, here's what you got to do. Comment on this video. Not in the. If you're watching this live, that's awesome, cool, congratulations, thank you for being here with us. But down in the comments underneath, I want you to type down in that which of your decks do you look forward to putting in the Xenoskin plus 1,000 box the most?
What if they don't have a deck?
That's a good question. I didn't think about that. Maybe you could think of what deck you'd want to put in it. Maybe you don't have a deck. Maybe you're thinking, I might want to go get this Virtue and Valor Commander deck.
Imagine that.
And put it in this box.
Yeah.
And you would be well on your way to filling this box. Well, you wouldn't hardly put a dent in it, to be honest. That's okay. Most people who play Commander end up having lots of decks. Hey, what's up, Lloyd? Thanks for being here. All right, so that's how you get in on the giveaway. You have to comment on this video, and as always, hashtag it Comix Cafe. And that's how we will know that you are entered into the drawing, and then we'll go through and we'll put it in our picker, and we'll do the pick live 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from this coming Tuesday. We're going to do it on a Tuesday box breaks. Okay? So 2 weeks from this coming Tuesday. So it's actually like 2 weeks and
16 days
2 days. Yeah. 16 days technically. This is why I like having Alan here.
You got to do math sometimes.
Math is hard. Anyway, so having said that, we'll make sure that we reiterate that at the end, not with all the theatrics probably, but we will make sure we reiterate at the end how you get involved in the drawing. Now, let's get down to brass tacks. Let's get down to business and talk about this deck. So this deck comes with 100 cards.
Imagine that.
A commander deck with 100 cards. Okay, there is actually a surprising amount of really, really cool stuff in this deck. So the stuff that's sitting on the table here is all stuff that came in the deck that we are not taking out of the deck. Okay, there are stacks of good creatures. And really, this deck is really all about creatures and enchantments. And so you have your 3 kind of alternate commanders for this deck. And they're great. But I'm going to go with Gilwain, casting director. Gilwain is fun because every time a creature enters the battlefield, you basically get to put an enchantment on them in the form of an enchantment token. You get a royal, a sorcerer, or a monster roll, and you put it on them, and then you get all the benefits of having a lot of enchantments on the field, which is really, really nice. So here's something funny. In this box for this deck, so you get all these tokens, right? You get your heavy, thick commander, the ones they want you to play with, the one they maybe designed it to be played with. Mm-hmm. And then they give you these tokens. Well, if you notice, I have 2 popular Magic format inserts, but I do not have the 3rd. So you have Royal, Monster, and I'm missing the Sorcerer roll.
Slightly important. But at least we know why there's popular formats in Magic twice.
Right. Yeah, we have, double information. We could take that and we could share it with a friend.
There you go. That's what Magic's all about, right? Playing Commander with friends.
That's right. Turning cardboard with friends. That's like it. So, we're not going to go through all of these cards. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about the things I changed. Matter of fact, down in the links below, you can actually find a link to this deck, the way it is, the way I finished it. And so if you want to see all the stuff that I left in, feel free to go and check it out there. I'm going to talk about the stuff that I pulled out. So I'm going to go through. So there were 0 Planeswalkers in this deck. And so I look at Calyx, Destiny's Hand, and I feel like he has to be in this deck.
Yep.
He plays with auras really well. His ultimate is return all enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Slightly important when you're playing enchantments.
Pretty fantastic. And it just feeds in. So the whole idea behind this deck is, I call it Everyone Places. Because it's something like a casting director might say, places everyone, it's time for the play to begin. And so this is all about overwhelming your opponent with waves and waves and waves of attacking creatures that are enchanted and big and beefy. And then when opponents will inevitably kill your stuff, this has ways of bringing everything back.
Yep.
And so, a lot of fun. Beast Within. So, as far as the instants go, I didn't pull any instants out. There were Generous Gift and Swords to Plowshares in the deck already. I didn't take those out. What I did add, though, was a Beast Within, a Return to Dust, and a Heroic Intervention. So, this deck needs more target removal, I thought, out of the box. And then just some protection. Hexproof and Indestructible until end of turn seems really, really good. Okay. I did take out that many lands. So 6 forests and 2, what I would call their utility lands. This one, I went away. Both of these create bodies. They create tokens. Mm-hmm. And I went away from that. Because, one, I have a hard enough time keeping up with just a few things. Mm-hmm. To add tokens to the problem is just not a good idea for me.
I love tokens.
Yeah. Tokens are great. No, I like tokens.
Yeah. If you've got Comix Cafe Dice.
Yep. Hey.
That helps. That helps.
That would help.
But those rolls, the enchantments is what we're after, right?
Yeah. That's what I really want to pay attention to.
Yeah.
And so I know. So as you're doing the deck tech, as you're thinking about how to make a deck better or make it your own, you have to think about things like, what am I going to enjoy doing?
Right.
Are there things that I know that I want to play in my decks, but I never really take full advantage because I miss triggers, and it's just too much to pay attention to?
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can modify a deck so that it plays to your style as well. Not just to, not just to like what you like to do, but what you feel like you're actually able to follow through and do.
Yeah.
So in replacement of those lands, We just basically diversified the land base a little bit more. Overgrown farmland can produce both colors we need. Razor Verge Thicket. Grasslands can go and search for a forest or a plains, depending on what I need at the time. Sun Petal Grove, and then of course Fabled Passage. How could we not put that in this deck, since it is a revisit to the Eldraine realm?
Got you.
So, this may seem weird. I took this card out. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card.
Wait. I thought we were doing enchantments.
We are doing enchantments, but we're not doing a lot of casting of enchantments.
Okay.
Whenever Gilwain puts enchantments onto the field, it's not a cast.
It's not a cast.
And so I felt like the casting enchantments was not going to be the majority of the enchantments we were going to put into play.
Right.
A lot of them, especially if we're going to recycle stuff out of the graveyard as well. So if something puts stuff back onto the battlefield, not a cast. Now you do get into the battlefield triggers, which we want. This Sterling Grove gives other enchantments you control Shroud.
What's Shroud again?
So Shroud means not only can my opponent not target it with spells or abilities, I can't either.
Okay.
So it's completely shrouded in mystery. Banishing Light, again, more targeted removal, but in the form of an enchantment, which is really fun. And then enchantments with Flash that help you to remove stuff are also really good. And it has cycling as a bonus ability in case you absolutely don't need that card anymore and you just want to get further into your deck. All right, some more stuff that we pulled out. We pulled out several auras, and you may notice a trend as a theme as to why I did this. So this one creates 1/1 green saplings. This one creates 1/1 green saplings. Okay, let's see if do I have any more of this. No. So this one and this one are both enchant land cards.
Okay.
I took a lot of ramp out of this deck. That may be... So, this is one of those things. You may make a choice as you're working on a deck.
Okay.
Have you ever made a choice you regretted later?
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday. In making a deck.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Playing at Comix.
Yep.
And you learn.
Yeah.
As you play the deck, it's either fast or not fast.
Yep.
You need ramp or you don't.
That's right.
Well, with that commander, mana cost is...
it's only 3.
It's only 3. So your casting cost is low.
Right.
So do you really need ramp in this deck?
Correct.
Okay.
And the curve, if you go look at the deck list on that website, it actually shows you the curve of the deck. And the curve is really good. It's about 2 point something or 3 point something. It's low.
Okay.
So it's not big stompy things. And then, again, this is another one of the cards that would have given this enchanted permanent, whatever this enchanted, the ability to create 2 green mana. But I didn't feel like that was worth the slot because...
What are we putting in place?
Here's what
there we go.
Here's what's going in. Well, we got an aura with Flash that gives a creature 5/5 and trample.
Okay.
That's good.
I think you just said it wasn't a stompy deck, but...
Well, that one is. That will make something stompy. Gift of Immortality is really good because it like if your creature dies, it comes back.
Bring that bad boy back. Got
Which
it.
is really nice. And then... And then Gift of Immortality goes back to the battlefield as well, attached to that creature at the beginning of the next end step.
Okay.
So it's kind of a boomerang effect. Feldar Umbra, it's okay. It gives it lifelink, but it's that totem armor that's really good. It kind of gives it a shield that it can let fall off. And then as much as I have the ability to bring stuff back, I didn't feel like that was a big deal. Darksteel Mutation, an enchant creature, but it takes somebody's big scary thing and turns it into a 0/1, what is it, insect? Yeah, an insect. And makes it indestructible, so they can't just blow it up so that they can recur it.
Yep.
It's stuck as an insect.
With no abilities, right?
With no ability.
Yeah.
All the glitters. How is this not already in the deck? I don't know. I mean, they do have Ethereal Armor, which is essentially the same ability. It just gives it first strike as well, but this, enchanted creatures get 1/1 for each artifact or enchantment you control. So you just count them all. Shield of Oversoul is really, really nice, especially because it's a double. So if a creature is both things, both green and white, it'll give it indestructible, and it'll give it flying. Otherwise, it just gets one of those with a 1/1 bonus. And then Rancor is like one of those old school, like when it dies, the creature that it's on, when the creature dies, Rancor gets returned to your hand. So you get to reuse it. So I feel like those were better options than like giving your land the ability to do something or make some tokens.
Right.
I feel like in the moment those would be better cards to have.
And the casting cost on all those was pretty low.
Pretty low.
So it's continuing that theme.
Yes. Lowering the casting cost, making it more affordable. All right. Now to the creatures. So these are the creatures we took out. Okay, again, aura and equipment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast.
Right.
They're pretty cheap already. I'm not going to be casting a lot. I'll be casting some. Enchantment spells you cast cost. Notice the theme. Aura spells you cast cost. That's gone. Enchantment spells you cast cost. Gone. And then we get into... So they had some of these enchantment creatures that have the bestow ability. They're so expensive.
Yeah.
They're so expensive. And they just don't feel worth it compared to some of the other value you can get. So I got rid of that one. I got rid of a mana dork. I got rid of a board wipe.
Interesting.
So
thought behind that.
There's one board wipe in this whole deck.
Okay.
And it is a board wipe that destroys anything that's not enchanted.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. So I figure if I'm behind enough, that will help me catch up.
Right.
In the middle of the game. And Sylvan Ranger, it's searching for mana dork. Again, I made some very strong choices with this deck that I may later go, that probably wasn't super smart. I need to go back and add some more mana ramp, or I need to go back and add some mana dorks, or I need to go back and add some casting cost reducers.
Right.
But
maybe comment below if we should ramp it up.
Yeah. If you think I'm making terrible choices, please let me know.
We don't need to go there.
Ouch. All right. Ox Drover. I have all kinds of questions about, card design on this one. I'm not really sure. There's probably something. There's probably a combo or something that really benefits from this. But so it can't be blocked by Oxen. This guy can't. And then whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, target opponent creates a 2/4 white Ox creature token, and you draw a card. So you get a draw. Cool.
Right.
They can't block you with the Oxen that you're giving them.
Right.
But they can block you with anything else that they have.
Anything else. And Oxen is not the...
It's a 4/4.
Yeah.
It's vigilant. Yeah, it just didn't seem worth it. And then this is probably one you may have very strong feelings about the fact that I took this out of the deck. Sun Titan.
Okay. Vigilance, 6/6. Sounds good.
Yep. And whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, you can return a target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield.
And we've got a lot of 3 or less.
There are.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. It costs 6.
It does cost 6.
Okay. But we've got 6.
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. And these guys kind of work in tandem because this guy destroys all non-giant creatures. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I made the choice.
It's all about what you replace it with, right?
Yep.
If there's a better suit, then it's all good.
So let's go through and talk about what I replaced it with. All right, so start with Heavenly Blade Master. Okay, here's a battlefield. I can attach any number of auras and equipment I control to it. So if your field is full of auras and equipment, you can load this thing up, and if you have a haste with it, you can just swing away. But then this other part is really good. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 for each aura and equipment attached to Heavenly Blade Master.
Okay. So are we setting up a bit of a Voltron combo with this?
Yes. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a target for Voltron.
Okay.
And the really cool thing about this is that it makes everything else bigger.
Bigger with that thought process of enchantments on it or auras on it.
So Catilda is another one of those cards. So its power and toughness are equal to the number of permanents you control, their spirits, and or enchantments. Okay. Flying, lifelink, pro vampires, which will never come into play probably until it does. But
if you're playing Travis, bring your vampires.
Bring vampires, yeah. We also have Danitha. So this is there's 2 different Danithas. I think there was one that we maybe did I pull that one out? I think I maybe pulled another Danitha out. But when this one enters the battlefield, you can put an aura or equipment card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield attached to the end of it. So
again, not cast.
Right, enters the battlefield.
Enters the battlefield. Yeah.
Dragon Lord Dracoma.
All right.
So this
is
a
dragon.
So this is a part of what I want to do with this deck. I want to. It's kind of a pillow fort type deck, in the sense that I'm wanting to keep my opponents from doing stuff on my turn, especially. And so this ability, your opponents can't cast spells during your turn, really is helpful towards that end.
Slightly. Yeah.
And it can't be countered.
Even better. So blue guys, sorry.
Sorry, yes. I'm not sorry, actually. All right. Then I have 3 creatures that are flash. So one thing that a lot of white-green Enchantress decks have a problem with is interaction.
Okay.
They don't have a lot of cards for interaction. So I decided to include these to kind of help with some interaction. Flash Vigilance, Guardian of Faith, when it enters the battlefield, any number of target creatures you control can phase out.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, is it Teferi's Protection? Kind of, in the sense that
you're blinking.
You're not phasing out as a player, but all your stuff is.
Okay.
So it's kind of being rescued, so to speak, and then it comes back at the beginning of your next turn. Green Slime, similar. It's flash. When the slime enters a battlefield, counter target activated or triggered ability. That's something that doesn't often gets targeted.
Right.
And so this is one of the few cards that can really do that. And I thought that would be a good kind of, someone thinks that they've got the game in the bag because they have this certain ability that they're going to be able to use.
They're oozing with confidence.
And so you hit them with the slime.
There you go.
That was a good one. I like that one. All right. And then Solitude is just a fantastic card.
All right. Break it down for me.
So it's flash, obviously. Lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to one other target creature. That creature's controller gains life equal to its power. So, you can use this 2 ways.
I see where you're going.
You can use it defensively
Yep.
to stop an opponent from hitting you with something huge. The drawback is that they get to gain life.
Right.
But then the other side of that coin is I can, if I have big, huge stuff, I can do that to gain life for myself.
Right.
Now, it also has Evoke, so you don't have to pay 5.
All right. There we go. Lowering the casting cost again.
Yeah.
I see where he's going with this. Yep.
It's a really interesting card. I'm looking forward to seeing if it really pays dividends the way I think it will. Okay, I took out Signet. I'm trying to make a point that every deck doesn't need to have every staple.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
Arcane Signet is out. Check out what I put in for it. Holy Avenger. Equipped creature has double strike. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage, you may put an aura card from your hand onto the battlefield attached to it. It's just so thematic.
Yeah.
And I am nothing if not thematic to a fault.
Well, you took out a Signet.
I did.
To give it a sword.
Yep.
All right. With double strike, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. And then sorceries. So I took out. So this is a card draw.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be drawing a lot of cards already.
Yep.
So I don't feel like having another 6-drop card draw card. And then the Austere Command I took out.
Okay.
Just not interested in board wipes for some reason.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Resurgent Belief. So this is a return all enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield card.
Yep.
With Suspend 2. Not too bad. It puts something on the field. It makes it. What I like about Suspend is that it creates a problem for your opponents to deal with that isn't directly attached to you. They can remove dot player if they need to, but it's one of those things. And then Idyllic Tutor. You're going to want to go look for your favorite enchantment.
Yeah.
Why not? So, this is a deck. I would love to know, what do you think I'm weird?
Well, yes.
Related to the deck?
Oh, okay. I have a hard time. I love tokens, and I love ramping. So you basically made a deck that's the complete opposite of how I play.
Yes.
But as I'm learning, sometimes playing a deck that's not suited to how you've always played helps open your mind to other avenues of not just how to play Magic, but playing your staple decks. You might be missing stuff that you don't realize. So, yes, removing board wipes. I thought board wipes were just a given, that every deck has them. Arcane Signet, every deck should have that. So some of this stuff makes you think a little bit deeper of how is your deck constructed, and are there things that you just think are obligatory that actually aren't.
Right.
So I love the choice of the commander. I love the theme of bringing those enchantments, attaching them, bringing them back if somebody blows you up, having multiple ways that if somebody thinks they've got the game in the bag and is going to do targeted removal, you can get it back and make it a problem again.
Right.
So that's awesome. The fact that there are roles in Wilds, that's a new thing that we're having to...
Token enchantments.
Yes. Contending with that is going to be interesting. And having that be played on the board and you're not used to how do I deal with this is powerful in and of its own right.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, you've done a good job.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Here's my challenge. So, a good friend of the store, Miss Kimberly, has been doing some gameplay videos.
Yes.
And so, I am issuing an official inviting myself. Hey, Miss Kimberly, I would love to bring this deck and see how it actually plays. Maybe y'all would like to see how this deck actually plays too. I don't know.
Yeah.
In some ways, it's different than anything I've ever built.
Right.
But in other ways, it really does. Like I said earlier, it kind of speaks to me. I think I'm going to like the way it's different. So we'll see.
Do you like power levels when rating decks?
I don't.
You don't?
No, because everybody's is a 7.
Everybody's is a 7. Yeah.
It's a 7. It's fine.
Yeah.
And it's
mine are all like 3s. So.
Sure they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sure. Oh yeah. Sandbagger.
Yeah. Never. But this is interesting. That would be a really fun game to watch, to see how does a precon that has some upgrades to it play against constructed decks that have a lot of thought into them and that were started with a principle in mind versus taking what Wizards is kind of wanting us to play, making it our own, and how competitive is that going to actually be? Exactly.
All right. So, I think it's time.
It's time? What do we got?
You want to open it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I get to keep what's in it, right?
No.
No, okay.
All right.
So
you're going to do it right there. I'm going to scoot back just a little bit. Let's see what's in there. It's a smaller pack.
It is small, yeah.
It's like here. This is what you could get if you buy a collector pack.
If you're cringing at how I'm opening this is much more difficult than it seems.
It is. It actually is difficult.
All right.
Let's see what we got.
We've got makeover montage.
Let's go. It'd be funny if it was the token that I didn't have on the other side. Is it? Nope.
Expel the interlopers.
Oh, okay.
Choose a number between 0 and 10. Destroy all creatures with power greater than or equal to the chosen number.
Oh, it's wanting me to put a board wipe in it.
I think it's speaking to you, no?
No.
Okay.
Ooh.
And Spreading Seas.
That's pretty.
And it is very pretty. Look at that art, and it's a hollow enchant land. When Spreading Seas enters the battlefield, draw a card. An enchanted land is an island. All right. So that's what we've got today, folks.
All right. Very good. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. Don't forget.
How do they get...
Yeah. So we got this deck box. Zeniskin 1,000 plus. I mean, you could hold probably your whole family in this deck.
Yeah, my family or your family?
Mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can get in on the drawing.
It's very durable inside.
Yeah, the outside packaging, not so much. But this can be yours. All you gotta do is comment down below. Tell me which deck of yours you're looking forward to putting and storing in this deck box. If you don't have a deck already, hey.
What do you want to build?
Yeah, what kind of stuff are you looking to build? And then make sure you hashtag it Comix Cafe. Lloyd, thanks for hanging out with us and thinking that at least one of the things we said was funny. Appreciate you hanging out. Y'all, this has been an unusual Sunday bonus breaks kind of version, but a deck tech. We may start doing more of these. I'm thinking about maybe trying this each time we get a run of commander decks. Not doing all of them.
Right.
But also understand that all of these cards are just stuff that I've collected over the years. I bought a handful of cards to go with this deck specifically, but everything is either stuff I already had, or I got a handful of cards from Comix Cafe to add to this deck.
Right. We're not talking a crazy upgrade,
No.
crazy expensive.
No.
And it helps folks like me that are still beginners to figure out, how can I get started without spending a fortune?
Yes.
I can go to Comix, I can buy a pre-con, I can buy a couple cards, upgrade it, and have something that's fun to play.
Yeah. I think the two most expensive cards are cards I actually pulled out of packs. Solitude and Idyllic Tutor, I think, were both pulled out of packs. So it's not a hugely expensive deck. I think it's like 178 total value of the cards in the deck.
And you get new cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, y'all. Well, Alan,
Yes, sir.
thank you. It's been fun. It's been real. It's been real fun. Was that weird? Was that creepy?
You looking at me like that is, so
Excellent.
on that note.
See y'all. Have a good day. Bye. Mike is still alive. Anything else you want to say?
You're crazy.
Any plugs?
No. Just, I can't wait to have my squirrels overrun you without a board wipe.
Oh! Bring it on, squirrel boy.
I am squirrel.